Welcome to Bougie and Boring, the spa business podcast that proves success doesn't have to be stressful. My name is Amanda Louisa. I'm a spa owner and a coach, and around here, bougie means high-end and well-paid. Boring means drama-free and simple. Together, that's how you build a spa that's smooth, profitable, and actually fun to run. Thank you so much for being here. Let's get right to it. Hey, it's Amanda. Welcome back to the podcast. I am so excited to continue a conversation that we've already been having surrounding Google. And this is kind of like an unintentional Google series that I've been creating. And it's come up a lot for not just me in my own spa, but for a lot of my coaching clients in their spas. So this topic I want to just bring to your attention is about Google reviews. And if you listen to my last podcast episode, which I talked about my $1 million spa method, and I hate saying that phrase because I don't like it. It's not what actually gets a spa to $1 million, but it gets you on your way. And it's what got me ranked high on Google on the first page for years now. And it's basically the method that we continue to use that has built trust with Google that I think you should now use too. And it is definitely getting us well on our way to $1 million in revenue. However, now I want to talk to you about the next step in this process. So this is not the original part of my method there of the Google ranking method, but this is something that is so important because the next thing to focus on is the Google reviews. So when people find you on Google, that's great, but if you don't have any reviews, it's not really going to make any sense, or they're not going to know if they can trust you or if they can actually book with you. And so it's important to get Google reviews first and foremost. And secondly, the client needs to be using your name in the review. And I don't mean the name of your spa. I mean the name of the esthetician. So think about it this way. I'll just give you an example for my spa. So I think last month, it was like over 55% of our new clients came from Google. And I have one esthetician in particular that is consistently getting Google reviews over and over and over again. So her name continues to pop up as the very first or as the newest Google review for my spa. And so she is booked out completely. During the slow periods and not slow periods, she's booked out. And so the other two girls who are incredible, they are so good at what they do and they're just as qualified, but because their name doesn't come up for the new people that are booking with us, they're not who that new client's going to book with. So it's really important that you are talking to your employees about getting Google reviews. And so one way that we do this is we will send a thank you card that says, thank you so much. I would love to hear, your honest feedback in the form of a Google review. And if you bring this card in, you'll get $10 off your next service with us. And it's a wonderful way to, get someone to leave honest feedback and to get them also to come back into the spa. So that's one method. But then also what we do is we will send, especially in Q4 right now is the time, and I typically do this at the beginning of November because that's when a lot of clients are really starting to gear up and get into the season of giving. And so what I will do is I will actually ask for the Google review directly. And I typically do this in the form of a text because one, it's a little bit more personal, and two, people are more likely to read it more than an email. So if you want, I'm going to send you, and I have this in my last podcast as well, but I will link below to a free resource where I'll send you not just the $1 million spa method, but then also the terminology, the phrasing that I actually use when I send the text to the client. And I've actually been doing it this way for years and years. And it's something that I feel like has worked so well. And so because of that, I just continue to do it this way. And it works well. Now, the key is to make things bougie, but make them boring. And I feel like I need to add this caveat. Like when I say bougie, obviously I do mean something that's a little bit more high end, but I don't want it to be so high maintenance. A big reason why I named this podcast Bougie and Boring is because it's a phrase I'm constantly talking to my team about. I'm constantly telling them because my team comes to me with ideas and I freaking love it. I love it. I love that my team comes to me and feels comfortable enough to talk to me about ideas. And I try to incorporate their ideas into as many things as I possibly can. But I tell them, I preface this by saying, I want it to be bougie, but I need it to be boring. So what does that mean? So if you want to make this bougie, you can send it that means sending a text that is personalized, very high touch, it's just very personalized, customized, right? It's not just, hey, leave me a Google review, please. Have a good day. No, it's actually like, here's the actual phrase that I have my esthetician send. So it says, hi, client's name. This is Amanda from the Beach House Spa. I was going through my books and I just felt really thankful for how long you've been supporting me. If you have a spare moment, would you mind leaving me a Google review? I'd love to bring in more clients just like you. And I capitalize the word you. And then I'll add something at the end, like, either way, I hope you're staying warm, or happy Thanksgiving. I hope that you get to go back for seconds on your favorite dish, or hopefully you get to rest and relax this weekend with time with family, or whatever the case. Just make it personalized. And then I add the Google review link to that same text message. Now, here's the boring part. That's the bougie part, right? So it comes highly personalized. It has the link already in it. I'm using their name. I'm using my name. And it's not just a copy paste. But the way that I make it boring is that I put it into the spa phone as a predictive text. What is that? That is basically, I use all Apple products. And so it just means that you've gone into your keyboard, and just like you would type in OMW, on my way, or TBH, to be honest, and it predictively populates there, you're going to create one of those for this text message. And so everyone in my spa, we all use initials. And so like there's me, I'm A, there's another gal that her name starts with an A, so she's A2. There's an L, there's an M, there's an S, there's a K. There's other initials. And so what I will do is I copy this paragraph and I put it into the predictive text, but I make it personal to that esthetician first. Because you type in a set letters that shouldn't make up a word, but they make it so that this auto populates. And so you're going to, for example, for the other gal that so her name starts with an A in my spa, she's A2. So I created this predictive text in the phone that whenever she types in A2GR, which stands for Google review, A2GR, her name's Eileen and it starts with an A. And so it's going to auto-populate, and when she clicks on the auto-population, it's all going to be there. She doesn't have to do anything but type in those 4-letter numbers. And so it comes up already. It just says, hi. And then she types in the client's name. This is Eileen from the Beach House Spa. I was going through my books and I just felt really thankful for how long you've been supporting me. And she and I went through it together. And I was like, does this actually sound like you? And she's like, yeah. And I said, would you add more emojis? She said, yes. And so we added emojis to it that she would actually use. Okay. So this is bouging it up a little bit, making it higher quality. However, the boring part, the part that makes it sustainable and low maintenance, is that it is a predictive text. So now she can go back any time of year, any day, very, very quickly, type in those, that A2GR, and it auto-populates everything for her. And then all she has to do is make it just a teeny bit more customized, like throw in another sentence at the end, like Happy Thanksgiving or Happy Holidays, or, something about New Year resolutions or whatever, honeymoon, or she just had a baby. I don't know, which hopefully my girls are not sending Google review asks to anyone that just had a baby. I feel like they would know better than that. Since their boss just had two under 2 and they saw how chaotic it was, like that is not boring. There's nothing bougie or boring about that. So anyways, long story short, I want you to just think about this. Think about doing it not just for yourself, but for your esthetician that you want to get booked fast. And especially if you know that you're ranking high on Google, people are finding you on Google, this is the way that they will get booked fast. They need the client, a new potential client needs to know who they can trust. And if other people have been leaving reviews for your esthetician, those new clients are going to book with that new esthetician because it builds trust with them. And so I just want to encourage you to try this out and see how you can make it your own and get your esthetician booked fast. But not just that, like give yourself more trust and credibility on Google as well. So try that out. Let me know how it goes. And if you didn't know already, whenever you leave an iTunes review, if you ask a question in the comment section, you can ask a question and I will answer it here live on the podcast. So leave that review and I look forward to answering those questions for you. And I want to know, how did this go for you? Did it work? And don't forget to grab the freebie. It will be linked down below. All right. Take care. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. If this episode gave you something to think about, please take a minute to leave a review and share with a spa owner friend. If you're ready for more support like this, I have left the link to my free 30-minute discovery call in the show notes below. I would love to learn more about you and your spa and what it is you are trying to accomplish right now in this season of life. Until next week, peace and love, my friend. I'll talk to you later.